Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. So today I thought I'd talk to you guys a bit about kind of why you really shouldn't trust the system or like governments of the world. And particularly in this case, the US is really going to be my focus here. So like I feel like given the current things that are going on right now and that are kind of around the corner potentially, I feel like it's a really good time to discuss this stuff to kind of help show any of you who might not necessarily know what the U.S. government has kept hidden from people for decades, and like just all the fucked up shit that they have done that they have intentionally kept secret from people so they can continue to do whatever they want and people don't put them in check. So before we get into that, though, let's cue intro. Alrighty, so the first topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about and kind of to help show why you guys shouldn't trust the system slash government is the testing of atomic bombs and nuclear bombs on Navy men who were not consenting or completely unaware that that was what was going on. They were intentionally misled by their own officers in commanding positions and just by these leadership positions that were supposedly, really trustable. And they sat there and did this shitty thing to hundreds of thousands of fucking soldiers. Now, I did pull up a little YouTube video that is on Vice's channel. It does a really good job of expressing the trauma and like how messed up these soldiers' lives were after they experienced this extremely fucked up thing and after being entirely like blind in the situation to what was really going on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch this clip here.
When the flash hit you, you could see the x-rays of your hands through your closed eyes. To say it was frightening is an understatement. We were basically used guinea pigs. There's no other word for it.
The threat of nuclear war hasn't been this high since the Cold War.
We will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
To better understand this existential danger, I want to speak to soldiers who've experienced atomic bomb explosions up close.
While everyone knows about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, few are aware that an additional 2,000 atomic bombs were detonated after World War II and tested on hundreds of thousands of young soldiers to prepare them for nuclear war. Most nuclear tests were performed by the United States and Russia.
So, what does that kind of tell you guys about things? It said that the US and Russia were the two countries that tested the most nukes out of any other country after World War II. It's extremely fucked up because, especially since the US is like praised as like the protector of the world, they use a shit ton of fucking bombs. I wouldn't expect a protector of the world to be doing something like that, knowing how catastrophic it is. But anyways, we'll go ahead and continue watching that.
20,000 British soldiers were also involved. These missions were secret and up until recently, the veterans weren't allowed to discuss them. only a few of these men are still alive today.
Served in the area for 5 years in the Pacific for the weapons testing.
My name is Douglas Hearn. When I was 21 years old, I was sent to Christmas Island and witnessed 5 nuclear detonations. That was the defining point in my life that governed what my life was going to be like from the moment I saw the first one, stood in front of it.
My name is David. At the age of 18, they sent me to the nuclear test site. It was utter devastation.
Didn't know anything about it when we went. We didn't know what we were going to do when we went, only to be told that we would be testing bombs.
We were told nothing. We knew nothing. We were told very little about the day, except don't look at the flash.
Now, that's kind of messed up already just from what you've seen from these British soldiers that were just 18, 21, really, really young aged men. And they were just completely misled and under the intention that no harm was going to come to them or anything like that. And it's extremely fucked up in that sense already that the military is not going to tell their own Navy men that they're getting something extremely hazardous tested on them. Shows you that it's really like fucked up, and there's a lot of misconduct in the sense of like the government and like the military and how they treat their people. But we'll go ahead and continue to see what else these brave gentlemen have to say.
Just before the sun comes up, we were marshalled in groups.
I went out on the aircraft carrier, the Warrior, and we was told to face the stern of the ship, the back of the ship.
We were told to cover our eyes with our hands or bury your eyes into the crook of your arm, which we did.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To say it was frightening is an understatement. I think it shocked us all into silence. When the flash hit you, you could see the X-rays of your hands through your closed eyes.
It was just sheer brilliant light. So I've never seen anything like it, never had done.
In the process of hands over your eyes, you saw every bone in your hand.
If I was looking at you now, I would see all your bones. You would see all the blood vessels and everything, and the bones a lot.
Then the heat hit you, and that was just as if somebody my size had actually caught fire, then walked through me. It was an experience that was absolutely unearthing. It was so strange.
Some of the lads would stand up, but about 30 odd seconds later, you'd get the blast, and the blast would knock you flying.
And there were guys with bruises and broken limbs. We couldn't believe it.
After a while, we were told that we could now stand and look up and watch the mushroom form.
You caught sight of the side of it at 90 degrees. It was that huge. It wasn't there, it wasn't there, it was there. It was practically above you.
All they saw was this rising fireball, a colossal fireball just going up, and thunder, lightning, you name it.
What I noticed most was the clouds moving away like that. You know, round and round and round.
I think it was too much for some of them, and some of them would cry and ask for their mum. That was awful.
There was no comprehension that anything like that could even exist. It was immense.
It's a sight to see, but never want to see it again.
All right, so before we go on and keep continuing too, I kind of want to like mention the fact, or bring to light how like intense that silence was that they had. And this documentary did a like really good job at showing how frightening and how traumatizing it was. Like the dude said, it's just terrible to see that there were grown men crying for their moms. You know, like that's really fucked up. But we'll go ahead and continue this here.
Over a 10-year test period, there were 22,500 personnel. In 2013, we estimated that 18,500 of us had died. And the reports that I'd seen, nobody had died practically of natural causes.
Now, he literally just said like over 18,000 people had died by 2013. And pretty much none of them were dead of or like died from natural fucking causes. Are you guys starting to see how fucked up this shit is and how fucked up it was just back then? Like, people don't even understand. They seem to think that the US government is such a huge, glorious thing. And this is only like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and people don't even begin to understand it. And this was British soldiers too. Like, that's the thing. All NATO, like, the allied nations did this to their own soldiers. Like, two of the biggest people and like contributors in the allied nations, or like NATO, was fucking making experiments and making lab rats out of their fucking Navy men and their soldiers. Like, it's really fucked up, and you guys gotta fucking wake up to this shit, because it's not the first time, and they're still doing fucked up shit now, and they just cover it with all the fucking media and the freaking materialistic distractions. But we'll go ahead and keep continuing watching this.
They all died of leukemias and cancers, carcinomas of one sort or the other.
Does this correspond to what radiation does to a human body?
The thing is, guys couldn't have children. People's children suffer from numerous ailments and things that come out, twisted bones.
How did it affect you and your children?
I married when I got back to the UK, and my first daughter was born in 1960. And sadly, by the time she was 11, she developed a problem which completely changed her appearance. She grew a hump on her back. She started to grow hair all over her body. We had to shave her twice a day. She sadly passed away in my arms.
My youngest daughter, I think, is the worst. She's had everything wrong, everything, and it's still going wrong. She lost all her teeth, same as I did. I lost all my teeth. Within a short space of time, they all went black.
I had cancer on my face that came up here. You can't see the scar. It's only a little pimple, but it was cancer. And it was also on my back. And the other thing which devastated me, took me a long time to recover from this. And I will never forgive the authorities for putting me in this situation. I couldn't have children.
Now, see, if brave and honorable soldiers like these gentlemen don't really trust the federal governments after something like this, I mean, do you really fucking blame them? It's extremely fucked up and inhumane as shit. Nuclear bombs are so unnatural and they're not right. Like, even Robert Oppenheimer himself said, once he created the atom bomb and saw what it did, he was like, oh fuck, like, I can't believe I made something this destructive, essentially, is what he basically said. He's like, this isn't something that's right. And nukes are just, they're extremely otherworldly in, like, the amount of devastation that they do. Like, it's extremely fucked up. And we really shouldn't have them, like, to be honest with you. We shouldn't have fucking nukes. Like, this is way too much power for any sentient being to fucking hold over somebody, you know, unless it's like something in outer space and some fuckers trying to blow us out of the fucking, you know, orbit from the sun, or like just annihilate us, you know. But like, this is extremely fucked up, and this is why a lot of people don't trust the government. Like, this is one of the many reasons why. Now, I do hope that you guys found this video to be educational / enlightening on the topic, but I'm going to be making this into a 3 or 4 part video series on, you know, exactly why you shouldn't really trust the US government or the system, so to speak. I'm also really going to encourage that you guys get out there and research these topics yourself, because when you guys do that stuff, it's also giving yourselves more concrete evidence, and you're like absorbing it a lot better because you guys are doing it yourself, and you're going to be a lot more likely to remember these things, and it's just very helpful whenever you guys do that yourselves. But with that being said, though, my dudes, I do hope that you guys, again, found this to be educational. And if you guys did and you enjoyed, please don't forget to, you know, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do these things, and helps you show me what you're enjoying by putting out there for you. Now, with that being said, though, please don't forget to, you know, live long and prosper, and take care of peace, my dudes. See ya!
Y'all get a cyberbully me or try to push on me until I'm becoming some dude who I'm not.